Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Silver Diva. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff.
5, 4, 3.
So let's see how our Diva is going to do.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
We're boostering out, and we have a Winston partner.
Let's get you back out there. I have located the enemy.
Okay. Do you hear the Doomfist? It's not your Doomfist. I want to turn around and find that. Oh, that's a thing. That's a thing. I want to be shooting on that, or I want to be trying to get out of the way of that. Okay. Okay, so that's way early on the DM. Was that DM for Junkrat, and then you tried to drag it over to DM? You don't really... I don't love that. I don't actually care to DM this, because he can't really hurt my Winston anymore. He already used his punch. It's important for him. It's important to get DM on Doomfist when they go for their slam or uppercut combo. So slam, fist punch, uppercut, fist punch. Might use them here, might use them here. Doesn't matter. It's important to get DM on them to block these out when Doomfist is going after squishies, because that's the only part of his combo that you can block out as Diva. I mean, you can body block the punch, and that's valid. But like of his slam uppercut combo, blocking out the shots by eating DM when they're on the ground or eating DM when they're uppercut in the air is really important for actually keeping them alive, especially when he's after Zens, Annas, squishies, effectively. If he's after your Winston, he can't really hurt your Winston. Oh, you did 220 damage to my Winston. I don't care. I don't care at all. I'd rather not spend the DM on this. I'd rather just keep shooting him. Make him leave faster. It does seem to be a tanky day. Okay. You're threatening here, your team's threatening from the teleporter. Works for me. I don't know that I want to do this. There's no way I want to do this. You're at 300 HP. 300 HP turns into 400 HP, and you think this is a good place to be? I don't. You already had an angle. You were threatening from here while your team threatened from here. You leaving allowed Reinhardt to turn this way and not have to pay attention to this angle anymore. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But if you were going to leave, you were going to end up over here where you're creating a third or a different angle. Now you've just dropped yourself in the middle of the team without boosters, so you can't get out without full health. Here you can get slept out, you can get bashed, Zarya can turn around and melt you. I don't want to be in the middle of this, especially without my Winston also in the middle of this. That's not my plan. You're just giving this Brig a chance to proc Inspire all day long. Unhappy. I am unhappy. But we got her. Not sure what we were DMing there. Maybe there was a nade on the ground. Glad we got the win, but that was not the proper way to consolidate that engagement.
Objective A captured. Escort
Okay. I don't love it. Here you are. Your Winston went in, and that's a good sign. You can go in harder because your Winston went in. Sure, you're going to go in. Ideally, your Winston would push during this. He didn't really. And you just sort of go here. Okay, you can hard DM. Yeah. I mean, you sort of have to respect what Junkrat is in terms of the trap. Don't get caught in it. Ideally, we'd have gone a little higher there. I'll live. Nothing would have happened there if you didn't jump in my opinion. Everyone would have kept standing around. I don't think you recognize what standing around is. So here's the thing. if your teams are standing around, as your Sim is shooting from here, and your Lucio is shooting from here, and your Monkey is zapping from here, and your D.Va is shooting from here, if your team is standing around, you're slowly winning this fight. You're winning this fight. Like, you're standing around when... I'll zoom out even further. Like, I love it. I love this situation right here. Oh, look, here's blue. Here's blue. They all fall within this circle, other than Ryan, which makes him even more vulnerable. Here's red. Here's more red. Red effectively controls all of this space, which means this person is ultimately feeding. And blue controls this space, and we're threatening red from here and here. You're just slowly winning at a very low danger situation right now. That's what's happening. That's absolutely what's happening. You are winning right now. That's further evidence that you are winning right now. But we're pretty happy. We are pretty darn happy with what's going on right now. That said, if you want to take a more aggressive, you want to make something happen to a greater degree, we move our D.Va over to here. And now, red controls here, and maybe Winston still controls over here. And now, blue controls basically this. I don't care about the Reinhardt, he's out of position. What does that really mean, red controls? It really means red controls this, which means blue doesn't actually control anything, which means blue is going to be taking damage on all sides until they back themselves out, and now blue sort of control this. And now red adjusts and goes, oh, well, I don't like that, so I'm going to go over here and be here. And Winston could join and push from this side. These guys will push forward, so now you'll have someone going, hey, I'm going to adjust up to here. Cool. And Winston could either just join in like this, or he could go like this. I don't really care which he does. If he goes like, and we're now going to end up in a situation where we control like this, and that's good pressure that we're putting on the enemy team. Or maybe like this, in which case they're kind of triangle destroyed again, which we're pretty happy about. Like, we're pretty happy when we surround the enemies like this. This team is losing a spam battle right now. Like, even though they look like, oh, maybe they're the bulkier team, they have the Junkrat, they have the Zarya, they have the Reinhardt, even though they look like the bulkier team, you're going to win if you have them surrounded like this. Angles are just that powerful. But if you felt the need to make something greater happen here, your solution was to go up here, not to drop yourself in the middle of it. Because when you drop yourself in the middle of it, now you're in a situation where you are right here, and they are here, here, and here, and you are in a not particularly clean spot. Did it work out in this case because you had enough threat from over here and over here that it's still bad, and these people in front, this front part of the triangle doesn't feel like it can turn around and deal with you? Yeah, it did. But it wasn't as clean as going up over here or just continuing to force what you had. Hope that makes sense. Okay, we'll continue. Speed on through here, sure. This is fine, you're cleaning up a fight you've already won. I would like left side control. I would like left side control very much. I would like to be up here thinking about, A, do I need to see anything? Do I need to scout anything? Or I would like to be up here going, anything going on? What do I need to be aware of? That's what I'd like.
Objective A captured.
No! Get through this!
Right, we're covered here. You go in for this. Winston's really not going to be willing to go in again, so you probably already need to back off because he really didn't get anything done to that Junkrat, but this is life. We'll deal. Why are we getting... Nope, stream looks okay, it's just giving me a warning. Okay.
Let's get you back in the fight.
Knock him down.
Valkyrie is ready.
And if you need a better understanding, like if this still feels like no temporal, I think you're wrong when I was, drawing the triangles like this. Just remember that the way the Zen ball comp handles the double shield comp, because the double shield comp Orisa Sigma with, good strong pokey heroes plus a Brig will generally, the way that a Ball Zen comp beats it is by going, okay, if we were using an Orisa if we were using an Orisa plus a Sigma, so Orisa plus Sigma, maybe we've backed this up with like an Ashe up here, something like that, and we've also backed this up with, maybe we've got a Brig, a Zen, maybe we have, a McCree over here, whatever, I don't care. This doesn't have to be Brig Zen. This can be BAP plus Brig, whatever. This can be BAP plus Brig. I don't really care. Whatever this is, the way that a Zen ball comp beats this comp, even a Zen ball comp with their own double poke aspect, though you wouldn't usually do that, is by going, okay, we're going to have to get this around and we're going to have to get more angles. We're going to have to accept that we need maybe our ball threatening from over here, our tracer threatening from over here, and then maybe our Sigma, our own Diva threatening from over here. We're going to have to take multiple angles on this, and we can win if we take multiple angles on this. That's fine. We can win if we get these guys caught inside our dive sphere of influence, that sort of thing. Whereas we're not going to win if we try to go, okay, we'll fight you with our Ball Zen comp, with Ball down here, and maybe Sigma, maybe Diva down here, and maybe Tracer down here, and Sombra down here, or Tracer down here, and maybe Echo or Ashe down here. This is not going to win. This is going to lose. It's not strong enough. But if it uses its mobility to get a third direction to fight the two directions that this comp wants to hold, it can beat it. And it's the same concept that we were just looking at here. I know I just went into big macro theory there, but that was because I felt like that was the effective way to prove the point to you. If it still doesn't make sense, definitely let me know, because I didn't want to just be like, oh, I drew a triangle, and triangle because I drew triangle magic, and that's explained now. Like, I didn't want you to be lost there. There was a stuttering moment, but you refreshed it. It's fine. Good. And we just leave. Okay. Please leave. Please leave. What are we DMing? Good. Okay, they used wall. They used junk tire. No problem. Don't walk back in. You don't have a mech health. No, leave, 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 leave. There's a Junkrat trying to threaten from over here. You're Diva. You control the off angles. You control the threats from a different direction. You're ready for this. You also shouldn't be in yet. I don't want to poke battle here. And if I'm poke battling here, I'm going to take advantage of my rather pathetic poke and do it from somewhere like up here, where at least it's causing them to not be spamming my team. Instead, they spam me. I can use cover to block it. And my team, my monkey, gets to jump in with his armor to fight people. My McCree gets to walk in shooting people from here while they're looking at me. I'm not walking down here doing my pitiful damage at this range. Okay, good, good. Sure. I don't know that you boosted him yet, but okay. Oh, you heard the hook. And now you're going to boost because you heard the hook. Okay, that's fine. You can block out the Kree while you guys try to fight Hog. I'd probably have just boosted into the Hog who didn't have hook and just make him very uncomfortable with damage in his face, but this is fine. You're just charging ultimate while Lucio has me on heal mode with Winston? I mean, I hear you, but like... You can't think that's right. Here you are.
Hi.
Someone get that payload moving again.
Oh, I didn't rewind to the right place that we were talking about. This is much better. I'd have to go back further. You can't like be out here going, ah yes, I'm just getting healed by Lucio charging ultimate. You mean giving their Hog a chance to throw right clicks at you and charge his ultimate? Giving Hog a chance to get pickoffs by bringing someone in with hook? Is that what you mean by charging ultimate? Like, that didn't really make sense. We can go back a little further and get it, but I'm not... yeah. I'll show the example. I mean, I could just hang out at spawn and get Lucio eliminated. Okay, let's go back and show you the spot. So this is happening. This I'm fine with. No problem here. Cool, we're good. You can absolutely DM to get Lucio out here. No problem. No problem. Why are we walking back in? This is over. Why are we walking back in? You're not coming out here to help Lucio. You're baiting Lucio back out here. I had no problem with you getting Lucio out. That was totally fine. This, however, is you walking in and giving Hog a chance to throw right clicks at you while you don't have any armor.
Time to raise my APM.
Is you baiting Lucio into a spot where he can get hit by a fire strike and eliminated.
Hi.
We'll jump ahead again because we've covered it.
Defense matrix activated.
Sure. You do this sort of boost to catch back up thing when your Winston's in. Okay. Go outside left. Good, good. It's fine.
Bunny hop.
Why are we leaving? Because we're low health? I mean, we do have the DM to protect our Winston eliminating this if we want. Like, Winston's stood here. You can just cast DM over... Oh, you don't have it, the DM yet? Yeah, you don't have DM when you leave. Okay. I'm forgetting just how fast DM recharges these days. So this is not a situation we want to end up in. This right here, where like we've stacked all of our power together. We're a lot more interested in, oh, could I be up here? Could I be up here shooting down from here? That's pretty interesting. That would be. We'll deal, but okay. Slept. Purpled. Trying to break the lamp. Trying to sort of tank for your sim so that she can perhaps turn this fight. Don't know why the DM's over there as opposed to on Hog. Okay. And now Sim's going to be able to do it. Good. That's what we were hoping for. Use the wall.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
You know he's still there. You didn't see him go down in the feed.
I sighted the enemy.
Object permanence. If you don't see him go away in the feed, he's McCree. He didn't get out. Like, McCree's not fast. He's still up there somewhere. Ah, well.
Excuse me.
Ah, well.
The power of destruction.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. That was lucky than unlucky. I mean, it's not unlucky. Like, we should have known that he was there. We had all the information.
Time to raise my Defense matrix activated.
Good, good. Who's our target? Are we shooting at BAP? Are we shooting at Sigma? Who do we want? Okay, I guess we want Sigma. At that range, your micro missiles damage is more important than your left click damage, and you actually try to aim for the micro missiles to be more effective rather than your left click. Obviously, when you get close, they both work together, but the usual problem that you have is that micro missiles are a projectile while your left click is hit scan. So you sort of have to balance which one makes more sense. And when you're in micro missile range, micro missile makes more sense. It's when you only get to close range, like micro missile trumps left click, I guess is the better way of putting that when it comes to aiming. And you want to aim for the micro missiles, not aim for the left click, and unless you're right up in their face where you're going to get both.
Get through this.
Felt hopeless taking on McCree without mech, though? Well, you didn't have to take him on without mech. You just had to respect his sightline. I probably just wasn't willing to. I wasn't going to go push him as Baby Diva. I would go push him once you're mech'd, but like you didn't need to. You can tell your team, hey, he's still up there, or just say if you're not 100% sure, did anyone clear Cree, something like that. If you're in voice chat, if you're not in voice chat, that's fine. I'm just not willing to walk into the open where there's no cover between your back and where he was last seen until you've got your mech back. Nano Bap is always the target. There we go. There we go. I'll admit you were right on the pre-fight poke back there, though. Yep. Trying to catch temporal being wrong is a somewhat fruitless effort. I'm not saying that I'm never, ever, ever wrong, but...
Nerf this. Payload moving.
That said, you should absolutely challenge, because it'll help your understanding if you challenge me. If you're like, wait, no, I don't get it, I think that's wrong, you should absolutely still challenge, because it will help your understanding in your reviews if you challenge on things that don't make sense to you.
Double kill.
Sure, we would like to not lose our mech there. Ideally, we wouldn't have lost our mech there. Not too worried about it. Pushing them in there was the right play. They just didn't get cleaned up fast enough. That's total Adam bait right there, Temporal. Speaking of Adam, where is he? He's going to be so upset when he's, here leaving his comment on this video and he sees this and he's like, wait, what? I missed out on a chance to troll Temporal? Yeah. You're way in the open. Do you need to be here? Do you need to be going here? Can you be playing here? This is pretty good. We've got cover. We have a health pack. I like this. I don't really like this. This is like, I hope no one shoots me. Just because your Kree has bad positioning doesn't mean you have to have bad positioning. You may or may not follow your friends off a bridge if they jumped off a bridge, but this Kree probably isn't even your friend. They're just they're a sad XE girl. Would you follow them off a bridge? Would you follow them into bad positioning? I hope not. You don't have to move that much to hit those shots. I get what you're doing. You're trying to adjust your aim without moving your crosshair, but instead with moving your body to hit this Kree. But there's no need. You just stand here and drag your crosshair to the right to adjust for his aim. Like, we can see what you're doing here. You can use your crosshair. You can just move your crosshair laterally without moving it vertically to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish by moving like this. Have your cover and just move your crosshair. You need to step a little further right to be able to shoot a little further. If you need to step a little further left to be able to shoot a little further right, so be it. But not these wide swing things. That's total Adam bait right there, Temporal. Legit RC proved you wrong 7 times in a row. No, that's not how that worked, and they weren't in a row. I don't know where that came from. Those were 2 different matches. 1 regular season, 1 playoffs.
Easy.
Are you fulfilling his spirit then, Blah? If he's here in spirit? Okay. I don't know that I love this. I don't think I want to be over here fighting them, to be perfectly honest. I think I kind of want to leave this fight where they have their Simbear wall up rather than fight into it. Okay. Sim wall's over. I don't know that I want chase out of my Winston Pebble. Yeah. We kind of just threw that mech away. Sure. You did not need to get hit by that fire strike, but you're going for masters. I get it. Critical element. Okay, let's see round 2 here.
Ready for battle. The protocol.
You thought trying to quote him would summon him, but you were wrong. You're not the top 500 troll that he is. That's fair, Blah. That's fair. Sometimes you play one on TV, though.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Alright, game face on.
Even if it's not your
No,
true spirit.
Anna,
Okay.
I thought you were dead.
Well, I had to come back. I was worried you'd get bored, not being able to stick your nose in.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Attackers incoming.
So, here we are.
Objective A.
Together, we can solve.
I don't know that that's where I'd put a sim turret. It feels a little high, but okay. Micro missile early, just fine. What? What? What?
defense nature.
Like, okay, you're getting baited here. So your teammate is baiting you, and they're not really baiting you. See where your Winston is? Your Winston is walking in, and he's keeping cover against the enemy team. He's good. He's fine. If he gets in trouble, he can leap out. This is important. He has his leap cooldown available. That's how he took this engage. He's just trying to slow down this engagement a little bit, put a bit of pressure on this team that wants to rotate forward. Put a little shield and health pressure on them. Makes sense to me. Is he good at fighting Reinhardt at close range? Absolutely not. But he can put a little bit of health pressure on them, a little bit of shield pressure, and then leave and be perfectly safe. You are looking at him, and I don't think you realize that he didn't use his jump pack to get in, so you're panicking and going, oh, I've got to protect him. From what? I'm not sure. You're not really going to protect him from Reinhardt. Maybe you're thinking Sigma and Lucio. But you've now used your boosters to go in, and now you're in a bad situation. Because you don't have your boosters, and instead of trying to pick on your Winston, who could always get out, they're potentially going to pick on you, who can't get out now. This was not a help your Winston situation. You have to be aware of how he engaged. You followed your monkey off a cliff on this point? Pretty much. Pretty much. It looked like he thought the Moira would ult. Moira ult would heal him enough. Oh, I can see that, Malcolm. Sure. The dive comp doesn't give you a warm fuzzy. It's doable.
Get through this.
Like, it's unlikely to hit the strong alpha dive from 3 directions. Everyone hit go and combine your cooldowns at exactly the right time to get enough damage to beat them. But it can at least use its mobility to take angles around the enemy team. Like, it can at least go, okay, the enemy team is rotating up through here, and we're going to go, hey, we'll threaten you from over here, and maybe we'll threaten you from back here, and be like, okay, we'll at least get our threat like that, and we'll still grind out a win with poke and such, with going in and leaving with abilities, even if we don't hit the hard dive of, okay, monkey jumps, diva boosters and micro missiles, and Moira fades in, and Sim runs in all at the same time, or TP's in all at the same time. Even if we don't do that, it can still win. It's not optimal, but it can do it on ladder. I don't want to run into that. No thank you. No thank you. I do not see an opening.
Get through this.
That is not an opening. There's nothing that's summoning me to push this Reaper. Did you see this Reaper waste Wraith? Did I miss something?
Get through this.
Did you see this Reaper go down to half health? Did you see this Reaper waste Wraith? Did you see this Reaper get totally out of position? His positioning is not amazing, but like his whole backline can see him. His whole backline can see him. As far as I know, he has Wraith. Oh, he doesn't have Wraith. Okay, so maybe that's what summoned you to dive him here. Still, even if we're going to dive him, we probably don't want to push him back. We don't want to boop him, right? And I honestly wouldn't dive him here. If I want to just make it so that Reaper loses as D.Va, it's not about doing a ton of damage to Reaper yourself. It's honestly about protecting the person that he's fighting. Protecting the person that he's fighting. DMing over him while your Winston, or DMing over your Winston, or him, either one, while your Winston zaps 4 people. That's what it's about. Can you fight him? Can you dive him? Can you jump on him with micro missiles when he doesn't have Wraith? Yeah, you can. I don't want to knock him back when I do that, though, now, because now I've removed him. I've put him more in space that's controlled by him. I've put him further away from my team. I've put him in a place where, once again, if we look at the enemy team, here, here, and here, I don't like that. I don't want to break their front line to go through here. Maybe if I dropped from here and was sort of outside it, but I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Legit thought he used jump to get in there. You called it? Yeah. There we go. That sounds really coordinated. It doesn't have to be super coordinated, though, because he can just see, oh, my Winston's over here, my team's over here, and I as D.Va, just me independently as D.Va, can go take a third angle. And you're pretty good at it. Or, hey, my Winston is over here, my team is over here. Maybe I'm going to play from my team's angle, but off just a little bit from their angle, so I can protect them, that sort of thing. Or you're going to play with your Winston, but whatever the case may be. Like, it doesn't require the whole team being coordinated to hit that coordinated dive where they all use their cooldowns at the right time. He can make the adjustment by himself to make it 30% better. No joke. Literally to make their fights 30% better.
Time to raise my DVA.
Flank around back a bit is a little better. D.Va's generally going to be one of the people who takes the lesser flanks. Like, if you looked at this comp defensively, what you'd look at is you're not generally going to sit on Winston, though it could happen. You'd generally be like, oh, my team is here, my Winston is here, I want to go up here. Let me boop this Reaper off, and now I control high ground. And I can boost her back to my team if I need to. I can fall back to get heals if I need to. I can boost her in if I need to. Like, that's the sort of position that you think about. The move on Reaper was to keep Torb alive. DM would have worked, but it seemed like getting him away from Monkey was also important. If that's the case, you need to U-turn, though. If you wanted to go, no, I want to remove the Reaper that's here, you go, okay, I'll go like that, hit him with my boop, and then U-turn out. Or hit him with my boop, and then place myself up on the high ground that was just above to the side there. You don't want to stay in that situation. And yes, you thought the Reaper was half HP. Okay. Hey, David. I'm glad it feels okay.
Routing power to forward barrier.
Feeling powerful.
We're doing this. We dropped the Sigma. Where do I want to go? Are we winning? Are we losing? Looks to me like we're winning. I want to boost her up here where I can continue to protect my Winston if I have to, but I can also shoot these guys from above. Shoot these guys from above. Cast a big DM over them. If they round the corner because they go, we're fighting, oh, we get low health while fighting, we round the corner. Nope, I'm still shooting you from above type thing. Finishing them off. Good. You got to go in with them. You got to go in and protect your monkey here.
Get through this.
Your monkey's going to cleave a bajillion people down. A bajillion of them. That's the scientific number. Please get in there and protect them. That's unfortunate. This happened right here. He has a bunch of targets that are great Winston targets that he's fighting right now. I would really like him to be protected because he is doing a lot of damage right now to targets who do not like having a monkey on them. Follow him in with boosters. I believe. Go. Charge. No, charge. Follow. Even if you just go up here, like I said, and DM over the most dangerous one, the Reaper, and maybe try to catch the Lucio in it too, I'll take it. But, oh well. Primal gets forced. Oh, Dana Split, did you end up with COVID? Were you mass gamers and get the... Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Danana. Okay, so this is unfortunate. They turned this fight. They had no business turning this fight, especially if you've used a primal. Wouldn't it be nice if these guys had to clear you from here, had to be like, no, we're going to turn and shoot you to make you back off, to make you leave, and then you had the option of backing up and then stepping forward and shooting them into the back as they rounded the corner, or the option of going, yeah, okay, fine, you made me leave, and just boostering away because you were up here with this, but they couldn't just walk by, or if they did, it was going to cost them a lot of their sound barrier because you were just going to shoot them from above and get lots of headshots. Wouldn't that have been great? Instead, you're shattered. You can't be shattered on high ground. Huh? Them walking past this means, yeah, maybe you don't actually do real damage. Maybe you're just stripping sound barrier. But hey, we'll take it. We'll start charging that up. Oh, you're not shattered? You can just self-destruct and then go, yeah, push it, melee it to make your self-destruct fall down here and give your team some cover. Oh, that could be interesting too. Like, you have options if you're up here on high ground. Well, that sucks. I mean, it's DMable. Like, obviously you gotta DM this. You gotta. You have full DM. It's not on cooldown. Unfortunate. It's one of those things you get practice in needing.
The name's McCree.
Allow me to repair the damage.
Surrender to my will. My teleporter is online. Reality bends to my will.
Sure.
Suiting up.
Left. His footsteps are loud. We don't want to forget about him as he's circling back to our back line here. But I do appreciate, other than the footsteps, that you went up to high ground here. This was good, if not for those Reaper footsteps. Okay, he was weak enough to justify. I'm good. Ah, yes, Kenobi's Law. It's over when you have the high ground. Kenobi's Law is a pretty strong one. We did a map review where we covered the strength of Kenobi's Law versus the strength of the Concave. We did that on Oasis. You guys can go check it out. High ground's pretty good. Concaves are pretty good too. Which is better? After that map review, maybe you'll be able to tell me. Or is it a trick question? So, here we are. You're doing this. Fine. I don't really want to fight these guys here. Like, yes, I didn't want to let them in, but ultimately, we are a Winston D.Va trying to fight a Reinhardt Symmetra on the front line. Our team, while supporting it, isn't totally here. I'm much more interested in making this hard to push into. I'm much more interested in going, nah, we're done, doing a booster to boop him back, and then finishing up here type thing. Or finishing back here type thing. Like, I'm much more interested in going, nah, I don't actually need to fight this. Like, I'm not actually interested in a frontline tank trading with a Reinhardt. I could boop him back. That could work. I could let him in a little bit so that he's getting shot by my team. I could try to boop across and knock him or someone else down when they're going across. I could pressure, you can't really stand on this, but I could pressure from up here, which I can stand on. It's not amazing, but yeah. Oh, the Sim. I don't want to fight the Sim Reaper Reinhardt at close range. I don't want to. Okay. We held them back for now. It did cost us both our tank ults. That wasn't really a micro I wanted. Like, I'm not activating my micro. Micro take a long time to be worth it. You activate your micro here when she's barely visible. And micro lasts, it's like a duration, it's like a channeling type thing. That doesn't really make sense. You don't want to use micro when people are right next to cover. You want to use micro when you're on top of people or when people have distanced themselves a little bit from cover. Oh, looks like Blonde and Nana Split played some quick play together without realizing it, or without Nana realizing it. Hopefully that was fun. Maybe they'll group together intentionally in the future. For those of you that are looking for people to group with intentionally, we do have a Discord community in the description below, and we do have a looking for group channel. It's not the most widely used thing all the time outside of our server scrims, which are another event we do from time to time, but it does exist. And we would like it to grow more. Okay, sure. Here you are. You're applying pressure up here. I like it. This is fine. You boost to dodge. We like it. I don't really see a reason to finish here, though. You use these boosters to dodge. You're on a target. The target gets away. You still have 60% of your boosters left, so cool. Let's go up here. No reason not to. Sim first, Sim first. You got it. Your team doesn't. Good. Your team got it. Okay. Yay, siege tank. Can't stand on that part. And maybe you didn't want to stand on the other part. You were afraid Kree would force you out of something. Not that they have one. Okay. I don't know what you're DMing. A couple Lucio shots don't hurt you. Okay, so he's got a rate of fire. He's got a very specific rate of fire. And you're sort of like completely misreacting to his rate of fire. Like, he hits his damage, and then you DM, and then you stop DMing, and then he hits his damage, and then you DM, and he stops DMing. So, like, after he hits you once, you sort of have to get back on timing with him. He has a pretty meaningful delay between his shots. It's almost like a reload. So he's one of those people where either you catch the damage, or if you don't immediately catch the damage, you just sort of have to let it go and kind of have to let the next one come in too. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to try to catch that one, because you'll just constantly be behind if that's what you're trying to do. And that behind time is causing you to miss out on, you actually beat him at this range. This isn't actually a good fight for him. You actually beat him quite nicely at this range. You don't need to be backing up, but it's okay that you are. You should be shooting at him, not DMing. If you get a little further, like if you were here, he'd beat you quite handily. But in his face, like you have been, you beat him quite handily if we're not mixing up these DM timings. And we don't really like DMing that much against him, truth be told, in general, until we've seen Rock anyway. Though we can DM to bait Rock and then get our micro missiles, but then he's going to answer micro missiles with shift. So it's a complicated matchup depending on what he has, but at the distance you're at, you win. Just don't misuse DM like that. Don't try to keep catching up to his shots. Just let him, if he hits a shot, let him hit a second shot volley and then try to catch them with DM. Leave. Good. You're just anchoring cart at this point. Don't back up. Just anchor cart. I don't think you get out. Yeah.
me.
How are we going to use this self-destruct?
Time to raise my APM.
Reality bends to my will. I have located the enemy.
Is it weird that I love dying on cart? Like all options have been exhausted. I don't have any hard APM decision to make. I can just reflex and get some ult charge. Not my problem. Team through the fight as you kick your feet up. I mean, sometimes you should get out, but yeah. So the Reaper, we got to hear the Reaper.
Step right up.
Okay, that's good. But do we now hear the Reaper? This Reaper we should be DMing. We should have been thinking about DMing our team's High Noon regardless. And now there's a Reaper here, and we're still staring straight at the other team. I don't love that. I don't love that. Nice of him to donate that.
Nerf this.
Oh!
Nerf this.
You thought you had shift and you didn't. That hurts. That hurts.
This will heal you.
All systems checked out.
You're gonna go high ground? What? I don't want to be in this at all. So much healing that you're demanding.
All systems checked out.
So you're up to.
On.
You have coalescences going. Your monkey went in. I'm actually going to focus the Sim, not the Moira. I don't think we're going to take out the Moira. It's hard to take out the Sim if the Moira decides to pay any attention to her, but I really don't think we're going to take out the Moira. I want to stun the Sim, and I also want you to angle out over here. I don't want you back there where their backline can threaten you. I want you to angle yourself out over here. Nope, I don't want to be here. You're like one step closer by being here than you were by being here, but you've opened yourself up to their backline. I don't know what you're DMing there. The beams don't care about your DM. Leave? Leave? Yeah, you had boosters. Temporal doesn't like my sludge-like reflexes. The reason I can't play DPS, slow reflexes. It's not all about reflexes. Reflexes definitely matter, it's true. But like I talked about in the review of A10's pre-GM unranked to GM presentation, you sort of need to limit the world. Like your reflexes, if you have to react to absolutely anything in the world happening, anything that can possibly happen in the game of Overwatch happening, everyone's are going to be pretty slow. But you can prime stuff. You can prime stuff, as he puts it. You can load stuff up into your RAM of, hey, this is what I'm sort of worried about happening. This is the openings that I'm looking for. This is what I expect to happen a little bit. And that creation of expectations, maybe from ult tracking, maybe from cooldown tracking, maybe from you having your ult, maybe from your teammates telling you what they're going to do, maybe from noticing positionings that people are in, that causes you to load a more limited set of possibilities into your RAM to prime that more limited set of possibilities, which controls what you do a little more and makes you reacting to things that then happen within this world faster. You don't react to stuff in this world faster. This is everything, but you can react to stuff in a world of things that you sort of primed yourself to expect a little bit faster. Does priming stuff sometimes slow down your reaction in general to things outside of the world? A little bit, but that's okay if you're good at figuring out what's likely to happen next. Okay. Okay, back to this. Sim took Reaper's job, to be honest. Yeah, Sim is a better Reaper. That said, Immortality, Wraith Form, is a pretty good ability. But yeah, the better range that Sim has, both from a super long range beam, not a super long range beam, but from an almost medium range beam, basically a medium range beam, having the ability for long range with right clicks, the threat of a teleporter and Sim turrets, whereas like Reaper's like, I would gladly give up Shadow Step for a teleporter. What? Give me one of those. You get Sim Wall instead of Blossom. Sim Wall's way better than Blossom. Like yeah, Sim is just good. And Sim was a bit of a sleeper pick for a while. It took people a bit to realize how good she was. Okay, you're watching him. Sure, you have an angle. They're purple, you can go for this. I would have probably microed earlier. Like, we should already be microing this. We should already be microing this because the reason we went in was to take down this Sim, right? Right? Sure.
Routing power to forward barrier.
Don't really need to DM the Lucio shots. Sure. Beautiful. I don't necessarily want to dive this because this is already gone, and I just saw a hog go this way, and I'm worried that as I walk past, hog is going to shoot here. I'd rather be here where I force him to hook someone else, and then I can react to him hooking someone else with my DM, with my boosters and DM. If I booster here, he's going to hook me and potentially take my mech, and wouldn't that be a shame in a fight that we've already won? I don't want to. No. I want my team to go push him, and I want to be able to potentially save them. He's tough to push. Yeah. You're going to need McCree to get healed up and threaten him from out here. Okay, fine.
This will heal you.
My ultimate is charging.
Fat finger. Don't forget about the hog. Object permanence. Object permanence. Cool. Not sure what you're DMing. I'm good to join this fight again. You may be thinking, hey, I want to keep the Reaper out. I can live with that.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay, you can push up. You can react with boosters. There's no threats behind your team anymore.
Double.
Works for me.
Time to raise my ECN.
Beam sniper. Yep.
My highlight reel. Defense matrix activated.
Okay, we're gonna get a self-destruct now that we have it back. Look for an opportunity. Okay. I was too busy talking and thinking about self-destruct.
30 seconds remaining.
I don't need you on low ground here. You've had all the time in the world to take this high ground. All the time in the world. Oh, they're spamming you and you don't like it? You step back here. I mean, okay. I probably am not willing to booster into this. I don't know why you like boostering into these fights like this. This is now an all-in. You've now all-in into this fight. And if they do 476 damage to you before you have your boosters back, nothing you can do. I mean, you can self-destruct for a remake maybe, but like, why are you all-inning when you don't see a particularly big opening? Is it to protect your monkey? Like, maybe it's to protect your monkey? You can protect your monkey just as well from here. Your DM reaches your monkey right now. Yeah. If you saw something to finish, or it was like, oh, my monkey's on this target specifically, maybe, but I don't like diving Reinhardts when they still have health. I don't like diving someone standing near a Reinhardt, because if you're diving someone standing near a Reinhardt, it's probably not a very good dive. he's going to peel with his hammer, and it hurts. You didn't U-turn that into a self-destruct? Yeah, okay, cool. You're boosting out, and then you just U-turn it into a self-destruct. U-turn it, you've still got boosters left into a self-destruct. Goes back here, works for me. You need a fresh mech anyway. They're aggressing. They don't want to back out of this fight. They already earned some space. Self-destruct.
This.
Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
Mecha activated. I'm back in tight. I still got.
Why?
I'm back in tight.
Totally good with boosters to finish Zarya. I want her gone, and I want her gone before any real threat happens. Cool. You have 3/4 of your booster left. Are you canceling your booster and playing out here where it's relatively safe? Or are you going up here where it's relatively safe and you get to be aggressive? Those are both valid options. This isn't. This is not a valid option. No, no, no.
I still got you.
I do not want to dive into the middle of an enemy team that has mostly been running Reinhardt, Sim, Reaper, and now Zarya, Moira. Like, no. No. If someone gets separated, I might go after them. But I don't want to just dive into them. I actually want to chip them down and wear them down. The way a dive team beats a brawl team is by leaning into its more pokey aspects. By going, we'll either actually hit a dive when someone gets separated, or we'll force out cooldowns to create the vulnerability and then we'll dive. But like, we're not just like, into the Sim, Moira, Reaper, Reinhardt. No, things near Reinhardt's are generally not dive targets.
I'm on fire.
I'm sorry.
You think your biggest mistake in this video is that you always think you have to DM key targets from the same height as they're on? Well, you definitely, I mean, yeah, I like height. I don't know that I'd call that the biggest mistake, but okay.
Reality bends to my will.
Okay.
Victory.
It's a mistake. Like, it's a mistake that you're not willing to take. You're sometimes willing to take the high ground, but there's definitely a lot of times when you don't just reset to the high ground. When you booster into something and don't finish on the high ground. When you booster in to finish something and don't end up on the high ground. Like, D.Va likes to finish her boosters on the high ground. She does. Will she booster in to finish things off? Absolutely. But if she has boosters left after she's finished it off, great. She's going to go to the high ground. Will she booster in to finish things off would be the other key part of that sentence. And the answer is yes, she will. But finish things off is different than let's booster into their Reaper in the middle of their team that still has a Moira and a Rhine up. Like, I guess if everyone goes in, that won't be a throw if it's just the 3 of them up and 6 of us up. But we like to take our angles and wear these things down much more so than we like to go, let's just jump on them and hope we win. Like, yeah, you can. If you had your own Reaper in Symmetra, you could go, hey, we're just going to brawl you hard. I'll DM out their Reaper and we'll win. And okay, maybe that works. But generally, what I want you to realize here is when you're playing D.Va, how do I want to put this? Wait, Ryan isn't a dive target? I never even considered planning my boost path past the enemy I'm aiming at, not even once. Okay, I wasn't sure if that not even once was a response to yourself or to Malcolm's, wait, Ryan isn't a dive target, whoops. And I'd have said not even once is almost right for Reinhardt. Okay, so yes, I do want you very much to go, you can do other things with your booster. You can go, hey, I'm boosting to finish someone off and then finish on high ground, or you can boost between fights to take high ground. Like, those should happen, and that is something I want you thinking about on D.Va. I know this is common D.Va advice out of me, but that's because it's very good, very powerful to have this high ground off angle on D.Va. If you looked at the Plat D.Va review we did earlier, you'll see, yes, we did some of that, but we talked more about off angling through chokes because that became relevant for that VOD, but in general, off angles, specifically high ground off angles, that's where D.Va likes to be. She might drop in and fight. She might boost her from the high ground in on someone, but the high ground gives her the ability to DM kind of invisibly almost. It gives her better headshot damage. It gives her the ability to DM over the opponents, DM over who she wants to protect. It gives her actually a better ability to hit sneaky boops that like boop the opposing Reinhardt in early or to boop people out. She's got actually more ability to do that from height and an off angle than she does on the team. It's very hard to boop someone in when you're booping from your team, for example. Like, that's interesting. That's what we want. So finish your boosters when they do other things, when the option is there on high ground. This would have been powerful, like we talked about. This would have been powerful. So definitely do that. We're talking about finishing the boost on high ground. You're DMing a lot of stuff that doesn't really make sense. Like, you're DMing when a Reinhardt is swinging at your Winston. You're DMing when there's a Symmetra that's just beaming you down. You're DMing Lucio shots when you're better off shooting the Lucio. You're trying to DM Sigma shots late when it makes more sense to just shoot him. Just shoot him could be some good advice in general for this. We could get into your DM. I don't want you to like not think about your DM. Your DM is important. It's something that you level up forever. We gave you some good examples there where it's like, hey, make sure you sort of know what you're DMing. DMing to protect your Winston is good, don't get me wrong, but is there actually anything you can protect him from in there? Oh, there's a Reaper? Absolutely. DM it. No problem. No problem. DM it. But don't just DM him from a Reinhardt. That doesn't make sense. I'd rather you be doing damage in that time. You will peel for him better by you doing damage to the Reinhardt or shooting him from another direction that makes him think about putting his shield up, which means he's not swinging at your Winston. That sort of thing. So we get into this. We've got the boosters up to high ground. We want to think about our DM usage a bit more in terms of, oh, is there actually something that we can DM here? Do we actually need to DM these Lucio shots? Do we actually want, how do we think about our DM when interacting with the Sigma? We beat him at close range. Don't underestimate your damage. Sometimes damage is greater than DM. That would be some way to think about it. That's not universally true, but there's places where that's true. And then what I'd get into here would still be, I do want you to take your angles. Like, I'm totally okay if you go, hey, I want to make a fight happen. I want to be aggressive. I don't just want this to be, meh, my team is just going to wait and it feels like we're poking forever. If you're poking with more angles than the enemy team, that's fine. And you can make it more aggressive. You can commit to the fight by going over here and taking something that's actually kind of safe, but they would have considered their space. And now the fight is more real. And your team will actually be more comfortable walking in because these guys will go, oh, I don't like that, and they'll turn to shoot at you. And that makes it easier for your guys to walk in, Much better than going here. So, like, take these angles. If you want to aggressively take space, if you want to help take space for your team, if you want to be like, I would like my team to push, the answer is not, I booster into things. The answer is not, I waddle into things. The answer is, let me take high ground to the side of the enemy team. Let me take high ground above and behind the enemy team. I'd actually argue that D.Va, of the off tanks, is probably the best at taking space because she really doesn't struggle to do this. And as soon as you've taken this, it becomes much easier for your Reinhardt to walk forward, or for, even if you don't have anything, even if your team doesn't have any other main tank, any sort of tank, whatever, to just go, okay, we're going to walk forward once this team is thinking about someone above them, because they either turn and then aren't looking like that, or they go, we don't like that D.Va there, let's back up so that she's not like that, so that she and the enemy are both on our screen again. Well, you just took space if that happens. So if you feel like you need to start fights, the way to do that is to take a more aggressive angle, not to drop yourself in the middle of the enemy team. You only drop yourself in the middle of the enemy team when, like, your whole team hard pushes like that. You're not the initiator. Brawl, Winston, Reinhardt, they're all better designed for that sort of thing. Okay. If any of you have questions, you can throw them up in chat now. If you are enjoying the content, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. If you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all of that good stuff. To be honest, though, I consider a Ryan that's forced to hold his shield up very much a dive target. The amount of armor he has actually makes him pretty annoying as a dive target, and the amount of cleave damage he does, if he's just swinging wildly, even while he's being dove, makes him an annoying dive target because he trades a lot of resources back, and he's pretty slow to take down through that armor. So he's really not the greatest dive target in the world. Obviously, if he isolates himself, totally doable. Obviously, if he's already in a bad situation, totally doable. Totally doable. But generally speaking, just one of those things isn't enough. It needs to be like, oh, he's isolated himself a bit and he's worn down a bit, or oh, him just being a little bit separated from his team probably isn't enough. He's probably going to get reinforcements pretty quick. Him just being low on health when he's with his team, if he can't take him down like immediately, he's probably going to come back up and he's going to trade a lot of damage back, and it's not really that fun. Okay. Good feedback. Lots of work to work on. Thanks again. Of course, Sheldon. You're welcome. You are welcome. Random question. But what defines a main healer, and who do you consider to be main healers? I need to make a video on this, clearly. I think that post was up earlier today or maybe yesterday on Reddit. I should have just responded to that one. Okay, because we need a video on this. Main support, flex support. Main support. Mercy, Lucio, Brig, maybe BAP. Flex support. Ana, Zen, Moira, and definitely BAP. These are terms for positions that get played in Overwatch, in organized play. That's what these are. They are positions that get played. They refer to what a player on an organized team is expected to be able to play on a team. It is just expected that your flex support can go between these heroes, that your main support can go between these heroes. These are the terms, effectively. That's how those terms work. Main healer is a term that the ladder has made up for itself. I don't particularly like the terminology because I would rather use the main support and flex support terminology because these aren't going away. These will continue to exist in our ecosystem because they're what's used in pro play and organized play and OWL and contenders and collegiate and tier 3 and tier 4 and most of tier 4 anyways. Though you could go over to Australia where they call this aim support rather than flex support. That's fun. But these are what these heroes are. The difference, again, these are really just player positions. You could say, oh, the difference of main supports is they're more meant to peel for the flex support, whereas your flex support is more of a big opening creator. We've got lots of damage on BAP plus Lamp. We've got Discord Orb on Zen. We've got nades and sleep on Ana. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And they also tend to be the bigger sources of healing. Yep, all these are bigger sources of healing. If you're looking at Zen and saying that's not a big source of healing, and most comps that he gets used in, he'll either be paired with BAP, in which case, okay, sure, but BAP is also a flex support, or he gets paired with Lucio, where, Zen does quite a bit of healing, should out-heal Lucio once you factor in Transcendence pretty easily, or Mercy. And again, he can get out-healed by Mercy, he can't out-heal Mercy, doesn't really matter. The point is like, hey, these are all pretty big offensive tools. That said, main supports have good stuff too. They're going to give you your speed, your damage boost and res, extreme peel plus enabling your flankers, and then BAP again is in both damage and heals here. So main support tend to be the more peel heavy ones. Flex supports, I would argue, tend to be the ones that give you a little bit more of an offensive push, to give you a little bit more healing, but that's not perfect. The biggest thing that actually tends to stick is these guys are better at peeling, over here in the main support category, but Moira makes that a little dicey because Moira really doesn't need peels. That said, she's not great at peeling for other people either. The damage pressure that she puts on someone, if they're trying to eliminate her Zen, for example, really isn't very high. Yes, she can heal the Zen, but really you'd prefer a Lucio, a Brig, or even a Mercy to peel for you in most situations. So the biggest distinction tends to be the amount of peeling involved. If you actually wanted to do a definition of like main heals versus off heals, I hate it. And it would be the amount of healing that they do. And we would start over here and we would go Moira. We would go BAP. We would go Ana. We would look over here and say, who definitely doesn't do enough heals? And we would go Lucio. We would go Zen. We would go Brig. And then what do we do with Mercy? Who cares? Honestly, who cares? I don't like putting her over here. If you put her over here, you run into the problem of, oh, but you're running double off healer with Mercy Zen. I don't care. Mercy Zen is plenty of healing for the way it wants to play the game. If you put her over here, oh, well, you're running double main healer with Mercy Anna. Yeah, it's actually not the best thing under the world to run Mercy Anna. It just gets demanded by some comps, but like her healing's a little lighter than the healing that these three put out. So it's really maybe not quite right to put her over there. So like if I was to define them, I'd define them like this, but I think it's a garbage term. That said, it's probably not going away either. But when people talk about main healer versus off healers, it's generally ladder people, and it's generally going to mean they're thinking something like this. And generally what they're saying is that they don't want two people from this category. And truth be told, it's hard to run two people from this category on ladder. These two are great together, but not until higher levels. These two are great together even at pretty low levels, though your team might complain a little bit. Yeah. What'll really happen on ladder, though, is you'll get two people from this side, including Mercy, quite often, and you'll just deal with it because your team wasn't that coordinated to take advantage of the Lucio speed anyways for proper retreats, proper taking advantage of, oh, we can push up and stagger, we can stagger them, then pull back, oh, we can use this to move them in. They probably weren't going to take good advantage of Lucio or Brig anyway. Oh, we have the Brig who can really make our Anna's job super easy, really let our Anna be super stable in the healing that she puts out, except that your Brig is often adventures in your opponent's backline, and your Anna's not getting any help. So, whoops. Okay. Okay, that's what my GM buddy told me, and I'm just really confused about it. Thanks for the in-depth answer. No problem. No problem. And I don't see anything else there, so we'll go ahead and call it, and that's probably it for Overwatch streaming for the night. So I will see you guys in the next one.